Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Devontae, and I sacrificed my time so you don't have to. I got a very concerning video for you guys to hear, and the thing is, I swear I heard Eric Bischoff talk about this in the past, and even further, I'll go even deeper. That video we laughed at a couple of days with the Reddit mod, fucking spazzing out and shit. I mean, he's still a spaz, and his intentions are incredibly horrible. But he was not all the way wrong in his implications about, can we investigate this whole Warner Brothers AEW contract a little bit more, because something seems a bit fishy. Again, he's batshit crazy, but at the same time, he ain't that batshit crazy. Yo, check this out for a second. I know some of you even talked about this in the comment section too. A filing in the by the way, this comes from WrestleNomics' Brendan Thurston, so a very, very credible source. A filing in the ongoing lawsuit involving Kevin Kelly and the Tate twins disclosed on Tuesday a noteworthy detail of AEW's corporate structure. A corporate disclosure statement filed by AEW confirms that the parent company of All Elite Wrestling LLC is Beatnik Investments LLC, and no publicly held corporation owns 10% or more of its stock. The disclosure is a requirement under the rules of federal court, where AEW is trying to get the defamation and misclassification lawsuit moved. This suggests if Warner Brothers Discovery, a publicly traded company, holds any stake in AEW at all, Warner Brothers Discovery would have to own less than 10%. The detail is notable in light of a recent report by Sports Business Journal following news of AEW's media deal renewal, which implied that Warner Brothers Discovery has a stake in AEW, a notion WrestleNomics has also frequently raised as a possibility. This isn't the first time AEW revealed Beatnik is its parent entity. A similar filing about Beatnik was submitted just over a year ago during the Luchasaurus mass copyright lawsuit, initially stating that All Elite Wrestling LLC had no parent company. That filing was later corrected to identify Beatnik Investments LLC as AEW's parent company. The August 2023 filing reiterated that, at the time as well, no public company owned 10% or more of either Beatnik or AEW. This naturally doesn't rule out that Warner Brothers Discovery owns less than 10% of AEW stock. In September of 2023, Tony Khan was asked if its major TV partner Warner Brothers Discovery owned a part of AEW. Khan didn't provide a direct answer. He indicated that he would be open to Warner Brothers Discovery, and I quote, having a piece or a bigger piece potentially, end quote, and a new deal. Florida Public Records confirmed that Beatnik Investments is an active limited liability company in Florida established in 2017. The authorized members are Tony Khan and his sister Shayna Khan, while Thomas Clarkson is listed as an authorized representative. Though his exact role remains unclear, he may be a financial manager. All Elite Wrestling LLC is also incorporated in Delaware and recognizes Beatnik Investments LLC as its parent company. According to Florida records, AEW's authorized representative is Chris Peck, the company's general counsel. A Jacksonville local media report from 2022 indicated that Beatnik Investments was used by Chad Khan, the billionaire owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars and father of Tony and Shayna, to invest over $76 million in the Black News channel. Beatnik owned a majority of the channel until it was sold to media businessman Byron Allen following Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Also, I'll leave this down in the description box below. By the way, I made sure to look up all of this before I made a video on it just to make sure, because this is a huge accusation, and honestly, it's looking more and more like it. So I looked up the Beatnik investment through its inquiries. I left the link down in the description box below, and lo and behold, yeah, right there, clear as day. Let me see one more time. Did I see Tony? I seen Shayna's name. I seen his sister's name. Did I see Tony's name? Let me open up the link one more time. Yeah, Florida Limited Liability Company filing. It's currently active at the moment. Let's see. It's registered in Tallahassee, Florida. Shayna Khan, there's her name, clear as day. I see Thomas D. Clarkson from Jacksonville. Shayna's from Naples. And I see Anthony Khan of Jacksonville. That's Tony. Yeah, they own this company that we're making. And wait, so let me see if I understand this. Really, really quick. So you have an investment company, right? For the most part. And let's just hypothetically say that Warner Brothers Discovery, as of 2023, didn't have any stake within the company in itself, right? Meaning they have a stake within AEW in itself because that's its parent company that it's investing in, right? So two things, and either one of them doesn't look good at all. So either A, Warner Brothers Discovery already had an investment made within they already had a stake within the company already, or did they negotiate that within the contract in itself? That they had to have a stake within the company in itself? So either one doesn't look good. So either, let me see if I understand this correctly. Let me see if I understand this. So either A, they already had a stake in the company, which would be an insane incentive for them to sign a long deal, a long-term contract, because they're gonna get that money right back. Like, okay, if you're spending so much money within a company, and the company in itself, its parent company, from my understanding, let me see, is it on the stock? Hang on for a second, I'm curious. I can't seem to find anything from a publicly traded standpoint in regards to this LLC on the stock market, at least now in the New York Stock Exchange at the very least. So they might be private, but at the same time, you can still invest in stocks and still be private with the company, especially if you're doing on an individual level through a 401k. I had to do it when I worked for Publix. Publix is not publicly traded. At least when I worked there, they were a private company. For anyone who worked for Publix who lives in the South, you know what I'm talking about. They let you invest firsthand with their company, and then you get paid back out through dividends in your 401k or in your retirement plan. So you can still do that while still having investments within the company while it's still being private. My point being is, though, because I know some people are going to probably be like, well, Devontae, it's not really that much. It's just like a minor investment. Who cares in the end of the day? Who cares in the end of the day? Okay, first off, over years, if you leave that money inside there, that money builds up. It's a stake within the company in itself. Like they're going to make that money back eventually from what they put within it in itself. My point being is that minor, you may say to yourself, might not mean enough. But for an example, for Publix, for an example, right? Let's just say hypothetically, I buy $40 a share, right, in stock, right? And say, for an example, I get paid back in dividends by just not touching it. I don't have to invest anything inside it because they're going to meet me halfway. I'm going to assume that's the same way with the LLC and Warner Brothers Discovery. They'll meet you halfway. You don't put anything inside it. All you do is not take it out. You forget about the stock, for an example, and in about 3 or 4 years, 5 years away from now, bro, you just made back like $5,000. I'm telling you, that's what happened to me personally working for Publix from an individual standpoint. I didn't put anything as far as investing outside of the stock that I actually bought, right? I bought maybe $40 worth of shares within the company in itself. Didn't buy anything else. Let it sit there all this time. And then my 401k through Voya went up incredibly huge. And when I did that, I did that back in 2016, right? And then I pulled out my retirement in order to bring it to my next job back in 2018. And it's still going off of that at this very moment through my retirement plan. When I pulled out from 2016 to 2018, we're talking about in just that 2-year frame, I made like $3,000. And I didn't have to invest anything besides the initial $40 a share that I bought initially that they matched up with, that they'll continually match up with over and over and over and over and over again, as long as you don't pull out the stock. That's through Voya. I can only imagine how much money it's going to be in regards to an investment for 10% of the company. Or how much they actually put in regards to the company itself, only 10% of it. So what I'm getting at initially, what I'm essentially saying is the incentive to actually give this company a lot of money makes all the sense in the world now. You may say, oh, well, it doesn't really mean anything. It means a lot. It means a lot. They have a stake within the company. Never mind renewing the contract. But of course, I would think theoretically, right? Like, you're a part of the fucking company. That's an incentive. Like you have a power play within the company and it's like, bro, that's crazy, bruh. That's crazy. That'd be like, okay, I'm trying to think of an example. That'd be like, for an example, like hypothetically speaking, right? I live with my parents. I'm 29, 30 years old or whatever the case may be, and I have a job, right? Just because I'm not giving them money in order to pay my fair share in regards to rent doesn't mean I'm not using my money to fix up the house. I'm investing in the house. I live in that house. That's my house. I sleep in that house. I have an incentive to help build up the house. Just because I'm not giving them any money directly to pay rent doesn't mean I'm not spending money to fix up the fucking place. Meaning it's going to be more comfortable for me to stay there. That's incredible. So what I'm asking is, was it off of merit that they got the $170 million? Or the $150 million or wherever it is right now? Or I guess, technically speaking, like, they kind of bought a portion of their contract, technically, right? Am I looking at this wrong right now? I don't think I'm looking at this wrong right now. You invested 10% within the company, theoretically, right? That's what everybody's questioning right now. How much did you buy? Less than 10%, right? Going off the court reports, you yourself have a parent company that this company invested in. So let's just say 10% of the company in itself, you spend $150 million in itself within the company in itself, right? Let's just hypothetically say that all its assets really is $2 billion, right? 2% of $2 billion is $200 million. Like, yeah, there'd be a strong incentive to want to sign this company to keep them on deck, because theoretically what you're spending money on, you're getting right back. Maybe not completely right now, but over the next 4 or 5 years, how much money you actually spent on how much money you actually invested within the company itself, you're going to make it right back. That's incredible when you think about it. That's incredible. So it's kind of like, for an example, you're not really losing anything investing. Once again, me staying in the house, me spending money to fix up the house that I'm staying in. What money am I really losing if I'm spending money on my house to stay comfortable? I'm not wasting any money. I'm making my life a lot easier because I live in that damn house. Bruh. So this brings up another question. Now, I know personally how the stock exchange works to a lesser degree, but personally you go through a broker, obviously. You know, typically you take out money, but you gave them like typically around 5 to 10% of whatever money you're going to spend. You're going to give them that money, and then you're going to use, as far as collateral is considered, and you're going to use the money that you borrow from them in order to play on the stocks, right? I get it. I understand how this usually works, right? But my question is, how does this work in regards to insider trading? Because, like, I'm very curious. If someone's a little bit more inept in this, or I feel inept in this. If someone is a little bit more, savvy when it comes to this, let me know. Is this technically considered inside trading, or is it because it's private that kind of is like that takes away because they're private, that now means technically it wouldn't be considered insider trading because it's not on the public stock exchange. Because my thing is, if you're not showing your company or disclosing that information out really like that, right? That the company, Warner Brothers Discovery in itself, is investing in this company, is that technically insider trading? Now, again, Warner Brothers Discovery, they're a publicly traded company. But I guess, do their investments count at all in regards to like having to let their shareholders know? Or is it one of those things? But my thing is, shouldn't the public know outright, right? If you're investing, or is that just, man, I wonder how that works as far as the insider trading. Clearly it can't be illegal because they would have been in trouble by now. So it can't be that. But I am curious, like insider trading when it comes to the companies in themselves, how does that work? When one company is private, but the other company is public, but they themselves are invested within this company, but they themselves are publicly traded and they have shareholders already on behalf of them. Can they just buy investments? But then again, I guess, would that be in the shareholders' best interest? Because you're buying investments in order to upshore your shares in order for them to get a payout at a stronger rate, right? Is that how that works? I'm very curious. If someone's a little bit more savvy in that, let me know. Would that technically be considered insider trading, or am I kind of like, because I know insider trading is essentially just like you're doing a bunch of shady shit. Well, not really shady shit. Well, technically it would be shady. Like, for an example, this company is about to go out of business, and you know this company is about to go out of business, so you sell all your stocks before the company goes out of business, type of shit, right? You're rug pulling people, essentially, right? It wouldn't be a rug pull because it's not your... Well, yeah, I guess that technically would be a rug pull, technically, right? Well, no, not necessarily, because it's not... Yeah, I guess that would be a rug pull, technically, right? Bro, I got my definitions all worked up right now, but what I am saying right now, for the most part, it's like Warner Brothers Discovery, for whatever belief you have, and within this, like whether or not they have a stake in the company right now, or whether or not, for an example, whether they had a stake in the company a couple of months ago, or whether or not they signed a contract in order to have a stake in the company, what I'm seeing right now is that clearly there's an incentive. This was not based off of merit. This was not based off of how much money the company made this, or the company made that in regards to ad revenues or viewership numbers or any of this stuff. Good on them in the end of the day, but I think there has to be an asterisk next to this, right? There has to be an asterisk next to this. Your TV contract, there's strong belief that your TV contract was only signed at such an exuberant rate because you gave a piece of the company into Warner Brothers Discovery. They own the company. Of course, they're going to show up whatever investment they themselves own. That's crazy. I think that needs to be more talked about. This needs to be blown up. This needs to be a conversation. So to say that, oh, well, yeah, the company, they're on par with WWE. No, they're not. They're not on par with WWE. They bought that contract, essentially. They bought that contract. Whatever, bro. Whatever. We got to get a conversation started about this, though, man. Yo, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know if I missed anything. I read this article over like at least 4 or 5 times just to make sure that I wasn't crazy as far as what I was reading. Then I went to go make sure, okay, wait, is this Beatnik company legitimately in association with AEW? And lo and behold, all their names are right there. In particular, Tony and his sister's name. It's right there. So they own the company. They invested within the company. It was disclosed that they themselves have something to do with the company as far as the inquiries are considered. So they have every incentive in the world to sign the contract back again. It has nothing to do with what they actually have done. It was, let me be a part of this, or we're not going to sign you this big ass contract. We gotta get a conversation started about this, man. Yo, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. That's a big fucking that sounds almost like a scandal to a certain degree. I know some people are gonna probably be like, well, Devontae, there's a good shot that maybe I'm behind the ball, and maybe this is something that's outwardly known already. But you gotta think to yourself, that's all gotta be conspiracy to a lesser degree, one way or another. But this right here is outright confirming it. There's no merit based off of what the fuck AEW has done in order to gain this contract. They got the contract because the company who gave them the contract owns a piece of the company. That's crazy, bro. We got to get a conversation started. As always, my name is Devontae, and I'll be catching you guys later. Deuces, P, Ice.